And when it comes to terms of collecting, a lot of what motivates collectors and also what motivates the price is the desirability of the guitar across the board, both to players and to just enthusiasts. Each of these changes is considered an improvement in the guitar, and players definitely felt it was a great improvement. The next thing they did was they added the different bridge called the Tune-O-Matic. It's the common way you see the vast majority of Les Pauls today, with this bridge right here and the stop tailpiece now being only a tailpiece. The Tune-O-Matic has small adjustments for the length of the string, allowing the guitar to be intonated much better than the original design of just this metal bar with the strings topping out on the bar. The Tune-O-Matic allowed for much more precision tuning, much more precise intonation, which made the guitar more accurate. This made it much more desirable. This feature first showed up on Les Paul Customs, I believe it was 1954, but on the Les Paul Standard it showed up somewhere in the middle of the year 1955 on the gold tops. That feature lasted for about, well, that particular feature lasted up to today, but that version of Les Paul stayed until they invented the humbucking pickup. Now the humbucking pickup is a double coil pickup. Originally they were covered with nickel covers, metal covers over these. Both of mine show the exposed coils, and you can see the double coils. The two coils are wired in a way to buck the hum. It cancels 60 cycle hum, which makes the pickups drastically quieter than virtually all pickups made before that. And it was a huge revelation for the quietness of the sound of the guitar. 60 cycle hum is generated by a lot of electrical devices. If you've played in your house with a Stratocaster or Telecaster and you're in front of your television, sometimes you'll hear a lot of buzz come from your television. If you face it, if you turn 90 degrees away, that buzz goes away. That's because the pickups, which are single coils, are picking up 60 cycle hum interference coming from the television. If you did the same thing with a humbucking Les Paul, you would not hear the hum or the change from turning because the humbucker cancels the hum. It was a long time before the vast majority of musicians got real excited about those pickups, except initially they were excited about the quietness of the pickups. In 1957, they started adding those pickups to the gold top guitars and to many other guitars in the Gibson line. Almost any guitar that was an upper level model, all the hollow body electrics that were high enough to have a label would have gotten humbucking pickups, and the Les Paul standards got them too. This is a major change in tone that in the rock world, as these guitars became super famous, starting in the mid to late 60s, those pickups were drastically more desirable than the original P90 single coil. The early versions of these pickups carried a sticker on the back that said patent applied for. The abbreviation for that is PAF, and that term has been used as the name of these old first series of humbucking pickups. They're called PAFs. One of the wonderful things about the PAF is it seems to have such a distinct sound that it seems to be extremely difficult for somebody to clone or make a new pickup that sounds exactly like it. Unfortunately, all of the original PAFs sound a little bit different. So you'll never get one you'll never find another pickup that sounds like all of them. But there's so many builders today who are working on making fantastic pickups. I'd say they've come close enough. It'd be hard to, I don't think anybody could tell in blindfold tests. But those pickups are still the most desirable and collectible pickups in the world. In 1958, Gibson decided to take the gold finish off the guitar of this model, make sure that the maple was done in two pieces with a seam down the center, and they painted it in bright cherry sunburst. The 1959 that I'm holding has been refinished. This is refinished in the colors as close as possible to what the guitar would have looked like the day it left the factory, brand new. A very, very deep cherry red, sometimes even looking almost dark blood red. The red pigment they used initially for the first year and a half, 2 years, was susceptible to fading to ultraviolet light. Many store owners put their guitars in the windows of their stores, and the sunlight, which is ultraviolet light, faded the finish away. The other example I have is an original finish. That's a cherry sunburst, and all of this red color has faded away. In areas where there is not access to light, like underneath this plastic ring and underneath parts of the pick guard where it's up against the wood, this guitar is still bright cherry red, virtually the same as that. As the pick guard gets away from the body, that red gets softer and softer until right at the edge, it's all gone as it's gone on this. These two guitars started the same color. Or I should say, this guitar started brand new, it looked like that, this color. This change to the maple top and the cherry sunburst resulted in these guitars having figured maple tops. There are all kinds of figure to the wood so that no two look alike. This makes these guitars very unique from one to the next. And to many people's eyes, that figured maple, the fancy curly maple, is very beautiful. And since we know that no two are exactly alike, they can be very desirable, but one person may desire one better than the other because it's what they like. I used to tell people, here's an example, you go to the Miss America contest, you have 50 beautiful women. They're all beautiful, but we have different opinions as to which one is the most beautiful. But we can all agree that they're all beautiful. So this is where collecting starts running into personal taste in a way that is not similar to any other guitars in such a way. Because every guitar had maple that could be quite a bit different. They're all unique. Some of the guitars got maple that had no figure at all. Almost all of them had a little bit of figure. The two examples that I brought have exceptional three-dimensional curly maple figuring to them. The most exceptional ones are the ones that, as you move the guitar in your hands, you can still see all the figure to the wood. Some of the guitars, the figure to the wood look great from one angle. You move the guitar a little bit and it goes away. If you've ever had a board of curly maple, you know the figure and the color of the wood grain changes as you move it because of the way the light hits it. This gave the Les Paul the added feature of having a very beautiful look to it in addition to being an outstanding, great playing guitar.